Zetsu Santa Claus got some Buster Poindexter cranking for my Christmas tunes. Anyway, Buster Poindexter, the alter ego for David Johansen of New York Dolls fame or marginal success. Anyway, I digress. So okay, I started the video and then here comes Shadow. Shadow likes to get in the picture. Anyway, say hi, Shadow. Shadow says hi. You couldn't hear her, but I understand her. Anyway, so about a week ago or so, a little while back, I found this beer barrel rye from New Holland Brewing and Distilling. And well, I picked it up mostly because it was on sale. Regularly $40 on sale for $19.94 is just about half price. Bourbon barrel rye, rested in American oak. One more time with feeling, Tom. Rest in American oak, anyway. Biscuits. Before finishing in Dragon's Milk barrel. So there you go. So I did a video just for the whiskey when I picked it up. But today I thought I'd pick up the Dragon's Milk and do a video with both of them. Let them complement each other. So anyway, I tried to do a video using my fake fireplace. And but about halfway through, the TiVo reset. So anyway, alcohol 11%, roasted, malty, smooth, proudly brewed in Holland, Michigan. New Holland Brewing Distilling, bourbon barrel aged stout. So let me set that down. The nose on this is exquisite. I could typically, I picked up the 22 ounce for about a 7 and change at a store, and I could typically find the a 4-pack for about 15, 16 bucks, but I didn't want a whole 4-pack, so I just picked up the bomber here, which was nice. They had I think it was $16.99, an oatmeal cookie version of this, but I'm not interested in such things. Anyway, if I want an oatmeal cookie, I'm going to eat a damn oatmeal cookie. I don't need my beer to taste like an oatmeal cookie. But anyway, having said that, big roasted malty nose, hints of cocoa. You might find a bit of chocolate. Heck, you might even find some fruit notes in there. Some say raisin. You might find fig or date, but you don't typically find fruit notes in imperial stout. But sometimes they'll work their way in there, especially when you got that barrel aging. That will provide other flavors that weren't there before. The bourbon barrel, for instance, can give you some of those fruit notes. It can also provide extra vanilla, even some spice notes that weren't in the original beer, and that is just delicious. It is. In all honesty, it is one of the more approachable bourbon barrel beers. When I've talked to people that don't like bourbon barrels, they tend to say that the barrel takes over the beer. This one doesn't. However, if you're someone like me that wants that bourbon barrel to do its stuff, this one feels a little tame. But again, I'm going to use the word approachable. It is more approachable than most. And I'm going to take a sip of this rye now. I gotta say, it is one of the spicier ryes that I've had. It's a very spicy rye. I get these very, very prominent ginger notes. And I'm gonna say that the beer barrel notes are subtle, but they are there. It's very interesting. Yeah. Well, what I found interesting is the first time I had it, I was picking up citrus notes and spice notes, and when I took a drink, I said that's it. The aromas and the flavors are that of a very fresh grated ginger. Again, it is a very spicy rye, man. So if you like a spicy rye, this one's going to do it for you. This one is going to rub you all the right way. Anyway, oh, mercy. So Merry Christmas, Happy Thanksgiving, Merry Kwanzaa or Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, I don't care. Merry Festivus, Happy Festivus, Festivus for the rest of us. I don't care what you celebrate. Friendsgiving, hell, I don't care. It makes me no never mind. And I always wonder when somebody gets offended by someone saying Happy Holidays. What do you care? How does it affect you? You want to say Merry Christmas? Say Merry Christmas. Somebody wants to tell you Happy Holidays. Who are you to get all up in their face? Anyway. Anyway, I digress. I'm gonna let that go for a second, and we're gonna let that percolate a minute. Back to the beer. We're gonna just toss that in a hopper. Anyway, I digress. No, both the nose and the flavors are rather mellow for a bourbon barrel aged beer, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Because there's a time and place for everything, right? You don't always want a beer that's in your face. And for those of you that think every bourbon barrel beer has to be right up all in you, this one isn't. I mean, it's very approachable. And the more I've let this sit, the more those cocoa notes that have really become prominent. I'm not really feeling coffee like I said. You might get a hint of coffee. I really feel those cocoa notes in a great big way. You do feel a nice amount of vanilla. I'm not feeling a whole lot of that barrel spice. Sometimes some of these beers you'll get some cinnamon in the finish or other spice from the barrel. Here I'm not feeling it, but I am getting a lot of vanilla here. Let me set that back down again and pick back up the whiskey. At $40, I think the whiskey is good. I really do. At $20, it's a steal. In fact, the beer barrel bourbon I had several years ago, my wife gave to me for an anniversary gift. And it's worth every penny, and so is this one at the price now that I've had it. But I hesitated because I'm not always a big rye drinker, and I've been exploring with more, but I sometimes hesitate to spend that much money. But when I can find a whiskey like this at 20, I find a $40 whiskey for $20. Oh heck, man, I'm in. I'm all in. But personally, not only do I think it's worth the 40, I think it's worth. I mean, it is as good as any that I've had for that price point. It is very interesting. Those beer barrel notes had some interesting dimension, but they are subtle. But what I'm really enjoying about this, to be honest with you, is those what I'm interpreting as ginger-like notes, that spicy, almost a fresh grated lemon zest like note that you get, like when you grate fresh ginger. That just detect the senses. If you've ever grated fresh ginger, if you haven't, go out right now and buy yourself some ginger and grate it, and then tell me I'm wrong. Anyway, I'm gonna put that down. Take it down a notch, Tom. Back to Zen. Anyway, I digress, man. I'm using a snifter here. Some glasses that were handed down to me from my mom and dad. So again, I get a lot of cocoa here, a lot of vanilla. Um, it's a very creamy, it's a very mellow imperial stout, and that 11% is hid pretty damn well. I've had versions of varying ABV of that macro that we all know about that morons are going to stand in line for on Black Friday. That you can really taste that alcohol in a very intense, unpleasant way. This one is very mellow. Now we're talking a difference between, that one typically runs anywhere, 11 and change up to 15, somewhere in the middle. I think when I bought last year, ran about 13. Um, and I only bought it last year because it was after Black Friday. I will not stand in line for any damn beer. I don't think anything's that good to stand in line for. Anyway, I won't stand in line for anything. If Scarlett Johansson was on the other side with her legs wide open, no, I wouldn't stand in line for that neither. I ain't standing in line for nothing. Anyway, but I digress. No, I was at a favorite beer store and they said they had one left, so I picked it up. But the point I was making, and I kind of got lost in a bit. You kind of got adrift, Tom. Anyway, is that this one really is? It's very mellow, very approachable. You don't really feel that 11%. And I've had others that run about the same, sometimes a little higher ABV, that you could really feel that alcohol in an unpleasant way. So a beer really has the mellow flavors that this one has, that really tucks that alcohol in. You can tell they know what they're doing there at New Holland. So there you go. I've been talking a long time, so we better cut this, Tom. Anyway, I have to be my own producer and shut this down. Anyway, it does. I just had a notion that I really needed to pair the whiskey and the beer together, and here I am. Here we are. There it is. Anyway, I digress, man. Has a very mellow caramel feel at first. Then it just kind of leads you into all that spice. In between there, I feel a nice amount of vanilla. I also feel like I'm getting some almost like orange marmalade like notes in there as we get back into that ginger spice I was alluding to. So there you go. I am Tom the Beer Whisperer, Beer Evangelist, prolific beer drinker, purveyor, wisdom man. I'm also Tom the Whiskey Whisperer. Forgot who I was there for a second. Whiskey Evangelist, prolific whiskey drinker, purveyor, wisdom man. All right, good guy. Cheers, y'all, and happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas, Merry whatever it is you're celebrating. Just be nice to everybody. How about that?